So African response to colonial rule, this is standard 6 social studies. In our previous lesson, we looked at the African response to colonial rule and the resistors, those who resisted the colonial rule. And we say that Africa, Eastern Africa, they responded to colonial rule in 2 ways. One, we say some of the African members, they accepted European colonial rule in their countries or in their territories, whereas others, they rejected the colonial rule in their territory. And we said those who accepted colonial rule are called collaborators, whereas those who rejected or those who don't agree colonial rule are referred to as resistors. So today, we want to look at the collaborators, those who collaborated with the colonial rule. So not all African leaders resisted colonial rule. Some African leaders were friendly to the Europeans and openly welcomed them in their areas. And before we mention and before we look at those who collaborated, can we mention some of the members who resisted colonial rule, the one we looked at in our previous lesson? Asa? Asa? The Hehe rebellion. The Hehe rebellion were led by who? And in the Rango? And the Rango? The Hehe rebellion was led by who? Yes, Melissa?
Chief Mwaka. It was led by Chief Mkwawa of the Hehe.
Very good, girl. The Hehe rebellion was led by Chief Mkwawa. What about? No, that is one. The other resistor, who was the other resistor that we looked at in our previous lesson? Apart from Chief Mkwawa of the Hehe, who was the other that we looked at? Yes? Who is the other resistor who resisted the colonial rule apart from Chief Mkwawa? Yes, Melissa?
Kabaka Mwanga.
Good.
Kabaka Mwanga.
Kabaka Mwanga. From which community was Kabaka Mwanga? From which community? And in Rango? And
Buganda Kingdom.
Good girl. From the Buganda Kingdom. So today we want to look at those who collaborated with the colonial rule. Can we mention some of the members or some of the leaders who collaborated with the colonial rule? The collaborators. Those who collaborated with the colonial rule. And the Rango? Yes?
Libion Lenana.
Very good. Laibon Lenana. From which community is Laibon Lenana? From which community is Laibon Lenana? And in the Rango?
Masai.
Good girl. From the Masai. Apart from Laibon Lenana, who is the other collaborator do you know? Melissa, your hand is up.
Kabaka Mutesawan.
Good girl. Kabaka Mutesawan. From which community is Kabaka Mutesawan? Melissa?
Buganda Kingdom.
Buganda Kingdom. Remember, the Buganda Kingdom had 2 leaders. There is one who collaborated and the other one resisted. The one who collaborated was Kabaka Mutesa I, and the one who resisted was Kabaka Mwanga. So in today's lesson, we want to look at Kabaka Mutesa I. What do you know about Kabaka Mutesa I? What do you know about Kabaka Mutesa I? And in the rango, your hand is up. Today your lesson is yours. And the rango?
He became the king of Buganda Kingdom in the year 1854.
Good girl. The second one is also.
He ruled between 1856 and 1884.
He ruled from 1884. That is good. Yes. What else do you know about Kabaka Mutesa I? What do you know about Kabaka Mutesa I? Melissa?
In 1877 to 1879, he welcomed Church Missionaries Society and the Roman Catholic missionaries.
Good girl. We are saying Kabaka Mutesa I, he welcomed the CMS, Christian Missionary Society, and the Roman Catholic, So he welcomed the Roman Catholic missionaries and the Christian Missionary Society. Again, I can see Andrew is up.
He encouraged trade between the Buganda and the Arab and traders from the east coast of Africa.
Very good. He encouraged trade. That's correct. So Kabaka Mutesa I is believed to be the king of the Buganda Kingdom in 1854 and ruled until 1884. As a ruler, he encouraged trade between the Buganda. He encouraged trade between the Buganda. And as a result of encouraging trade, Buganda became rich, strong, and powerful. It became rich, strong, and powerful because trade was encouraged by Kabaka Mutesa I. So Kabaka Mutesa I also believed that the presence of missionaries in his kingdom would increase its fame and prestige. He believed that by welcoming the missionaries, the Buganda Kingdom would increase and become more famous. Therefore, he welcomed the Church Missionary Society and the Roman Catholic missionaries respectively. Let us look at reasons why he collaborated. What are some of the reasons you think made Kabaka Mutesa I to collaborate with the European colonial rule? Yes, and Rango?
He wanted to make friends with people who would help him to check the expansion of the neighboring kingdom of Bunyoro, which was expanding quickly from the west.
Good. Mutesa wanted to make friends with the people. He wanted to make friends with people who would help him to check the expansion of the neighboring kingdom. And his neighboring kingdom was the kingdom of Bunyoro, which was neighboring the Buganda kingdom. And he wanted it to expand, to be very large. Joseph Gitara, can see one is up, want to say something?
He was looking for people to protect his kingdom.
Very good boy. Very, very correct. Kabaka Mutesa I, he collaborated with the colonial rule because he was looking for people who would protect his kingdom, meaning that he had many enemies. So he wanted people who could protect his kingdom from being conquered by the Europeans. And the Europeans are the people who were his enemies. Another, yes, I can see Bill and your hand is up.
He feared to the influence of Muslims in the kingdom.
Good boy. Very excellent. Kabaka Mutesa I, he collaborated with the colonial rule because the increasing Muslim influence was a threat to his kingdom himself. The Muslim influence was a threat, and therefore it was a threat to the Buganda kingdom and also to Kabaka Mutesa I himself, who was a non-Muslim. Kabaka Mutesa I was not a Muslim. Therefore, the Muslims were a threat to him and his kingdom. Yes, I can see people are carrying up their hands. Melissa?
He greatly admired the medicines and presents that the Europeans came with.
Yes?
He greatly admired the medicines and presents that the Europeans came with.
Very good. He admired the medicine and the presents that the Europeans came with them. So he decided to collaborate so that he can get all those gifts and those presents. And in the language of
He also respected the Europeans because of their knowledge and skills on various issues.
Very good. Mutesa I, he collaborated with the British because he respected the Europeans because of their knowledge and skills on various issues. The Europeans had the skills and knowledge on various issues. So, Kabaka Mutesa I wanted to collaborate with the Europeans who can help him to solve issues using their skills in his kingdom. Melissa, can you see your hand is up?
He wanted to protect his kingdom from external attacks.
Good. He wanted his kingdom from external attack. Remember, we have said that the enemies of the Buganda kingdom were some of the Europeans. Therefore, he wanted to collaborate so that they can protect his kingdom, which was the Buganda kingdom. I want you to note this. Due to all the reasons that made Kabaka Mutesa I to collaborate with the colonial rule, Kabaka Mutesa I, he welcomed missionaries to his kingdom. And he also collaborated with the British as they established their spheres of influence in Eastern Africa. He also collaborated with the British so that they will establish the spheres of influence in Eastern Africa. So that is all about Kabaka Mutesa I. So it is important to note the reasons why he collaborated. And I want you to be very, very careful. When we're talking about Kabaka Mutesa I, it's different from Kabaka Mwanga. Kabaka Mutesa I was a collaborator, whereas Kabaka Mwanga was a resistor. He resisted the colonial rule. Melissa, can see your hand is up. You want to add something?
He wanted to check the spread of the Bunyoro kingdom.
Very good. Thank you for adding that. He wanted to take the state of the Bunyoro kingdom. Thank you for adding that point. Who else wants to add something before we go to the next collaborator? Thank you. So let us look at Laibon Lenana. Laibon Lenana, as we had said during our introduction, that he was a leader among the Maasai people. He was the leader among the Maasai people. And when the great Laibon Batian of the Maasai died in 1890, his two sons, Lenana and Senteu, completed the leadership. So when Laibon Batian was the father of Lenana and Senteu. His two sons, Senteu and Lenana, they completed the leadership. So eventually, Lenana became the leader of the Maasai living in the north of the Kenya-Tanzania border. Again, we are saying this. The leadership among the Maasai, it was hereditary, meaning that after the father died, the son could take over. And we are saying in the Maasai, Laibon Batian, who was the leader at that time, when he died in 1890, his two sons, Lenana and Senteu, they competed, not completed, they competed for leadership. In other words, they fought of who would take the leadership. So they competed for leadership, but eventually, Lenana became the leader of the Maasai living in the north of the Kenya-Tanzania border. So Lenana's relationship with the British colonialists were good, and therefore he decided to collaborate with them. So he collaborated with the British, just like Kabaka Mutesa I, who collaborated with the British. Then Lenana was very much desperate, and he felt many threats by his brother, from his brother. So Lenana was desperate and considered the threat by his brother, the Kikuyu, famine and cattle diseases are serious enough to destroy him and his people. These were some of the challenges that he faced. The cattle diseases, famine, and also threats from his brother and the Kikuyu community. So he therefore approached the British agent at Fort Smith near Dagoretti to ask for help. So he decided to ask for help. Let us look at the reasons why Lenana collaborated. Can you mention some of the reasons why Lenana collaborated with the British?
He wanted British support against his brother Senteu.
Very correct. He wanted the British to support him against his brother. What was the name of his brother? We have said it was Senteu. So he wanted the British to support him against his brother, whom they competed with after the death of father, they born Batian in 1890. Asaf, your hand is up, yes?
The Maasai had been weakened by civil war and animal diseases that had killed many of their livestock.
Very good. That is very good. The Kikuyu are not the matter, they had weakened. They had weaknesses due to the challenges that we had said, cattle diseases, the river pest that had killed most of the Maasai cattle, also famine that had been a threat. Yes, and Rambo?
He wanted British support against the Kikuyu who raided his people regularly.
Very good. He wanted British support against the Kikuyu who raided his people regularly. Remember, the Maasai and the Kikuyu were enemies during the collaboration of Laibon Lenana. And that's why I've said the Kikuyu and the brother to Laibon Lenana, who was Senteu, they were a threat. Therefore, Laibon Lenana collaborated to seek support against the Kikuyu who had raided his people regularly. Just another reason for collaboration, Melissa?
Maasai Morans were used to raid communities who opposed the construction of their railways.
Very good. The Maasai, they raided in areas which were threatened by the railway builders. Another point. So those were some of the reasons that made Laibon Lenana to collaborate with the British. Melissa, I can see your hand is still up here.
Aloibon Lenana signed 2 agreements with the British, Anglo-Maasai Treaty of 1904 and Anglo-Maasai Treaty of 1911.
Good girl. And I was almost coming to that point. Thank you for reminding me. Laibon Lenana, during his collaboration, he led to the signing of the first Maasai agreement, Maasai agreement, which is called first signing of the first Maasai agreement in 1904, and also the second Maasai agreement in 1911, which was called Treaty. First and second Maasai agreement treaty in 1911 and 1904. The first Maasai agreement, it forced the Maasai to give up most of their land and to occupy only the Laikipia area and the area south of Ngong. After Laibon signed the first treaty of the agreement between the Maasai and the British, the first Maasai agreement, it forced the Maasai to give up their land and occupy only a small area in the Laikipia area. And in the second agreement, the Maasai agreed to move from the Laikipia area to create room for European settlers, of which they moved to the area south of Ngong. Maasai, and I can see Melissa, you want to add something? Yes, Melissa?
The railway was built through Maasai land without trouble.
Very good. Through its collaboration and the signing of treaties, the railway line then was built without any trouble. So let us look at what were the results of the collaboration of Laibon Lenana and the British. In other words, what were some of the effects, what were some of the results that resulted from the collaboration of Laibon Lenana and the British? Who can try? And Rango?
He was rewarded with cattle for his cooperation.
Good girl. When Laibon Lenana collaborated with the British, the reward that Laibon Lenana got from the British, it was a reward. He was rewarded with a large number of cattle for his cooperation. Asa?
He was made a paramount senior chief in paramount or senior chief in
That's a very great point, Asa. That is very great. Through his collaboration, Laibon Lenana was made a recognized and paramount chief of the Maasai. He was made a paramount chief of the Maasai. Another result. So just to add on what you have said, he was also allowed, through his collaboration, the railway line was built through the Maasai land without any trouble through his collaboration. That is a result. Also, the Maasai Morans who were used to raid communities and who were opposed through the construction of the railway, they now started raiding without any problem and without any conflict and without any opposition. So those are some of the results of the collaboration of the Laibon Lenana and the British colonial rule. So that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. But in summary, what have we learned? Who can tell us in summary? Who can summarize our lesson for us? What have we learned in summary? Melissa?
Today we have learned about the African response to colonial rule, and we have learned about the collaborators and resistors. And one of the resistors is Kabaka Mwanga and Chief Mkwawa. And some of the collaborators are Kabaka Mutesawan, Leibon Lenana, and we have learned about the reasons for the resistors to resist and the collaborators to collaborate.
Thank you. That's a very, very great explanation. You have even summarized the whole lesson. But Asaf, I declared up his hand. Let me not deny him that chance. Asaf, we want to add something?
We have learned collaborators and resistance, and why they collaborated and why they resisted.
Good boy. Very, very good boy. So Melissa and Asaf have already summarized the lesson. So in today's lesson, we have been looking at African response to colonial rule, and we have said there are only two ways in which they collaborated, resisting and collaborating. But today we have been looking at collaboration with the colonial rule. We have looked at Kabaka Mutesawan and the reasons for his collaboration, why he collaborated with the colonial rule. We have also looked at Laibon Lenana and his reasons for his collaboration and the results of his collaboration. So that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Until next time, goodbye.